The 2024 NFL Draft has come and it has gone, and the New York Giants have added 6 new players to this roster. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and in today's video, I am going to give my grade for every single pick that Joe Schoen made, and then I will grade Joe Schoen's 2024 New York Giant rookie draft class. Before we dive into that, though, I got to make sure everybody watching today's video is subscribed to the channel. We are in a subscriber battle with the Dallas Cowboys Report, our rival channel here at Chat Sports. And Tom Downey, the host of the Cowboys Report, he's been talking a lot of noise about Big Blue. I want to take him down. Only a couple more days left in the month. So if you love the Giants and you want free content every day and you hate the Cowboys, hit that sub button right now. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. Round 1, pick 6. Joe Schoen and the New York Giants select the electric playmaker Malik Nabers at LSU. And this is an A-plus grade for me. What Nabers can do on the football field is not replicated by anybody on this roster. I had him as the number 2 receiver in this draft class, had him as a top 5 prospect, and the Giants get him at pick number 6. What he did in the SEC the last 2 years showed why he is one of the best players in this draft and one of the best wide receiver prospects in recent history. Dane Brugler says that Malik Nabers would have been the number 1 prospect in the 2022 NFL Draft. He also said that Malik Nabers would have been the number 1 overall prospect in the 2023 NFL Draft. What does he do well? Create separation, take the top off the defense, and when he has the ball in his hands, generate yards after the catch. In 2022, at age 19, he had 418 yards after the catch. In 2023, at age 20, had 589 yards after the catch. I know there's a lot of people saying, well, Marshall, who's going to throw him the ball? Honestly, it doesn't really matter. Just get him the ball, get out of the way, and let him work out. He is that special of a player, best wide receiver to wear an NY on their helmet since Odell Beckham Jr. At his pro day, he was measured at 6 foot, 199 pounds. He threw up 225 pounds 15 times on the bench press, graded out in the 99th percentile in the vertical jump, 94th percentile in the broad jump, 97th percentile in the 40-yard dash, and overall the 97th percentile of the relative athletic scores for wide receivers. He is special. He's dynamic, great player, and I can't wait to watch him play on Sundays. And now you have a new look wide receiver depth chart. You got guys like Malik Nabers and Darius Slayton and Jalen Hyatt and Wan'Dale Robinson and Isaiah Hodgins. This wide receiver core got better overnight. I can't wait to see Nabers, Hyatt, and Wan'Dale Robinson be the faces of this wide receiver core heading forward. Round 2, pick 47, the New York Giants selected the safety from Minnesota, Tyler Nubin, with the 47th overall pick. He was the number 1 safety in my rankings for 2024, and the Giants get him in round 2. I would have liked the Giants to maybe attack the defensive line position or maybe the cornerback position a little bit earlier in this draft class, but a run on those guys went before the Giants were on the clock at pick 47. And what did Joe Schoen do? He found the best player on the board at a primary position of need. The Giants, they lose Xavier McKinney in NFL free agency, and they go and they attack that need by selecting Nubin in round 2. He was a 4-year starter for Minnesota. Very, very special player. He's the all-time leading interception guy at Minnesota. He was a second-team All-Big Ten player in 2022, second-team All-American in 2023, as well as a first-team All-Big Ten. He led the team in interceptions in 4 straight seasons, and he is going to fit like a glove in this new Shane Bowen defense. He excels when he's in a dual safety set. He could play halves, he could play quarters, he can even play a little bit of single high, and you can roll him down into the box to help you in some run support. I know there's some people that are like, well, he's not that good of an athlete. I had heard he had a little bit of a knee injury at the NFL scouting combine, and that is why he didn't test all that well. But I like that he went out there, he competed, even when not at his best, and still was pretty solid. You look at the 40-yard dash and say, well, Marshall, it's only a 4.5 40. Well, one, that's extremely athletic. And 2, put on the tape and see him cover from hash to hash and from number to number and attack the ball when it is in air like a wide receiver. He is a true ball hawk. He is going to always be around the football, and I am glad that he's going to be a member of this team. Safety was a major need for this ball club. You lose Xavier McKinney. He was one of the best safeties in the league last year, and you replace him with Tyrone Nubin, and you add him to a group of Jason Pinnock, Dane Belton, Javarius Owens, and Jalen Mills. So the Giants in day 1, they add a receiver, and to start day 2, they add a safety, a guy that was the number 1 safety on my big board. So you get the best receiver in the class, or second best receiver in the class, in my opinion. You get the best safety in this class. And you know what? I'd say for the first 2 rounds, Joe Schoen did a heck of a job. And I love who he added in round 3 with pick 70, Andru Phillips, the cornerback from Kentucky. He goes by Drew Phillips, so I am going to call him Drew Phillips. He primarily played in the slot in his career at Kentucky, more so on the outside this past year, but Joe Schoen alluded to him as a slot corner in his post-draft media kind of recap of it all. He really talked about how the versatility that he possesses, having the skill set to play in the slot while also play outside, was a big green check mark for him when evaluating Drew Phillips as a player. What he does can't really be showed off in the stat sheet, in my opinion. It's the feistiness, it's the aggressiveness, it's the relentlessness, never scared, never going to back down type of attitude that I think elevates Drew Phillips into one of the better corners in this draft class. I had him mocked to the Giants in my final mock draft at this exact spot. It's a little pat on the back for me. I think the Giants, and all Giants fans know, that they had to add to this secondary. You do it in round 2 with Tyler Nubin, and you do it again in round 3 by adding Phillips. He is someone that is not afraid to come in the box and tackle somebody, but he is someone that needs to, I think, improve on his technique, and maybe it's just a size thing that kind of holds him back there at the NFL Scouting Combine and throughout the pre-draft press testing notes. He really didn't show what I saw on tape, which was an elite athlete outside of his jumping testing numbers. And that's where I think the tape showed just the explosiveness, the start-stop that he has, the ability to get in and out of his pedal, get downhill, and attack a route and attack the ball in hand. 99th percentile in his vertical jump and his broad jump. And now you have a defensive back room that features a first-round pick in Deonte Banks, a third-round pick in Andru Phillips, and another third-round pick in Cordell Flott. That's 3 players in your secondary where you use premium picks on them, all under Joe Schoen. So this DB room, the cornerback room specifically, needs to be a little bit better this year. I also don't think Torrey Jackson is coming back, as Andru Phillips is going to be wearing number 22 for the New York Giants. I'm excited to see what he does in this Shane Bowen defense. We know that Bowen likes to operate with a lot of DBs on the field. He ran dime personnel more than anybody. That's 6 DBs on the field. And you got a guy like Phillips and a guy like Nubin that's versatile to play in multiple spots and get in the box and make some tackles. We'll talk more about the picks the Giants made, and I'll give my grades for those. And at the end of the show, I'll give my entire grade for the 2024 NFL Draft for the Giants. But first, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, Mando. Go to shopmando.com, use that promo code chat, and get $5 off the starter pack today. Today's Giants Now video is sponsored by Mando, and baseball season is here, and nobody likes a foul ball. Just like no one likes a smelly dude. That's where Mando comes into play. Step up to the plate and take your personal hygiene more seriously with the Mando whole body deodorant. Developed by a doctor, this game-changing formula is safe for your entire body and knocks out odor like a champ. Mando is made with mandelic acid, which picks off odor at the source, keeping you fresh for up to 72 hours. Mando is available in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for on-the-go use. Don't let your foul balls ruin your game. Switch to Mando and keep your body odor in fair territory. I thought you only needed deodorant for under the arms. Until I got hooked up with Mando, it has changed my life. It's also changed the life of some of my coworkers. Some of these dudes stank. And you know what, Mando? They're helping them smell a little bit better one day at a time. Go to shopmando.com. Use that promo code chat and get $5 off the starter pack today. All that information clickable in the comments and description of today's show. Maybe my favorite pick of the draft for general manager Joe Schoen is the all-world athlete Theo Johnson, tight end, Penn State. The production for him through 4 seasons, I don't think really paints the picture of the type of player that he is and the type of player that he is going to be in this league. Because I think I see a guy that was underutilized in the Penn State offense, an offense that's, in my opinion, pretty boring, pretty vanilla. You can line this guy up in the slot. You can line him up on the outside. You could tell him to attack the seam. And if people don't respect his speed, he will run right by them. Special athlete, graded out in the 99th percentile through the pre-draft testing numbers. Only 34 catches for 341 yards this year. But I think the athletic profile and a Brian Daboll offense where he's allowed to really use his athleticism to create more space separation and really opportunities to succeed as a receiver will take his game to another level. 40-yard dash, 95th percentile for all tight ends. Vertical jump, 98th percentile. Broad jump, 96th percentile. Overall, at 6'6", nearly 260 pounds, he's graded out in the 99th percentile of all tight ends in scouting combine history. So you look at the tight end depth chart now, a lot of question marks surrounding Darren Waller and what his future may or may not be with the Giants of the National Football League. Some rumors he's going to retire. If he does, you got a guy to step in. Not saying he's Darren Waller or ever going to be Darren Waller, but you get a receiving tight end, whereas Bellinger is more of that hybrid. Jack Stoll, who you signed from Philadelphia, is a blocking tight end. Chris Manhertz is a blocking tight end. And you got some back of the roster guys like Cager and Tyree Jackson. Before we get to the final 2 picks of this draft, where I give my grades and my final grade overall, I want you to grade the 2024 NFL Draft for the Giants. Let me know down in the comment section. Grade the Giants 2024 NFL Draft, A, B, C, D, or F. Another one of the picks that I liked what the Giants did on day 3. I really did. I know there's some people that are upset about that, but I was begging and I was yelling from the mountaintops during our live stream following the pick of Theo Johnson that I wanted Tyrone Tracy in round 5. And Joe Schoen, he gave me Tyrone Tracy, an athletic playmaker at the running back position that is going to help a roster that is trying to fill the shoes that number 26 left. He ain't 26. There's no doubt he ain't that guy. But in my opinion, he is only scratching the surface of the type of player that he is. Reason being, he's only played running back for really a year and a half in his life. He was a wide receiver at Iowa before transferring to Purdue, and he really only had the production his last year. A little bit older of a prospect. He'll be 25 in November, so I don't love that about him. But I think he's going to be ready to play. I think he'll be an immediate contributor on special teams when it comes to punt coverage, as well as when it comes to punt returning and kick returning. He averaged 6.3 yards per carry this past year, 8 total touchdowns. And when we talk about a guy that can turn on the jets when he gets to the sideline and get going and make explosive plays, Tyrone Tracy can do that. You look at his relative athletic score, and the numbers, they speak for themselves, but it's not just the testing numbers. You see it on the football field as well. Tyrone Tracy's 23.1 explosive run rate is the best in this year's running back class and 97th percentile among all prospects since 2018. He's a big player. He's a big-time player, and he makes big-time plays. Explosive plays equals points, and you get to add a very, very explosive running back to a running back room. Right now, it's just got a lot of question marks around it. I think Devin Singletary is going to be really good, but I don't know about Gary Brightwell. I'm unsure about Eric Gray, who was selected in the 5th round last year. We'll see what he could do. Ja'Shawn Corbin, a UDFA. You add Tyrone Tracy, Dante Miller, Deion Jackson. We don't know what they are going to be, but I really like the idea of adding a running back who's got receiver skill set, home run hitting ability, returning threat to this roster. I think he's going to be really, really good for this football team. Maybe the pick that I was the pick I was most confused about is Darius Musau. I apologize for saying the name wrong. I know I did. I practiced it 25 times. I still don't think I'm going to ever say it right, but I'm going to try my best. Shout out to Darius, linebacker, UCLA, Started his career in Hawaii in 2020 and 2021. The Giants pick him at 183 in round 6. I give it a C grade for a couple of reasons. I thought there were some other better players out at the board, and I wonder if he's going to be able to have the same type of success he had in college in the NFL, because he had a whole lot of success in college. 2-time first team All Mountain West Conference in 2020 and 2021. And then he was a second team All Pac-12 player in 2022 and 2023. That's 4 years we was selected to an all-conference team. In 2019, as a freshman, he was named the special teams MVP of his team. He also didn't miss a game for the last 5 years and compiled 440 tackles and 40 tackles for loss. He is a run-stopping machine. The 40-yard dash, not great. The athletic profile, not great. You don't want him moving backwards. You don't want him in coverage. You want him playing downhill and making plays near or at the line of scrimmage. He's had years with 7 sacks before, 4.5. He has 16.5 sacks in his college career to go along with 440 tackles and 40 tackles for loss. So the talent and the production is there. I just wonder, a little bit undersized, a little bit, I would say, less than average athlete. Will that be able to translate on Sundays? I sure hope so. But he joins the linebacker room that I think is actually one of the stronger position groups for the New York Giants. Bobby Okereke, he's really good, at a great season after being a priority free agent in 2023. Micah McFadden was a 5th-round pick. He's a stud. You re-signed Isaiah Simmons. You still got Darian Beavers, Carter Coughlin, Matthew Adams, and then you also add Darius Musau to this linebacker room. We went through all 6 picks. What was your favorite Giants draft pick? Favorite Giants draft pick? I want to hear from all the real ones down in the comment section. My overall grade for the 3rd draft under Joe Schoen as the general manager for this football team is a B. I really like what he did. Only thing I would have liked to change is you didn't add any interior defensive linemen and you didn't add any interior offensive linemen. And I really thought that those were 2 of the bigger needs for this team. You can go out and address those needs in free agency as well as the UDFA market and more. Those are just 2 things that I would have liked to see the Giants place a little bit more of an importance on. But I really love the Nabers pick. I love every pick. I really do. The only one I'm not dying in love with is Darius Musau, but I understand why they made that pick. I see the upside, and the tape and the production, it speaks for itself. Make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. It's at @MarshallGreen_. And if you made it to the end of today's show, hit that thumbs up icon for me.